Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of SaaS Growth Academy. Today, here with us, we have Anton, founder of Archway Finance. Hello, Anton. How are you?
I'm fine, Alexa. Really fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great as well. It's a pleasure having you here with us.
Yeah, thank you. Where are you based? You have so dark around.
So that yeah, I'm based actually I'm based in Serbia. It's morning here, but my window side is so sunny, so it like my face goes all white if my window is open. So yeah.
Okay, I see. See.
So yeah, let's start with the interview. Can you tell us more about your business?
Yeah, basically, Archway Finance is a fintech project. It is high risk related because we're involved in crypto and also processing fiat money. And initially, this idea was running around like creating an additional crypto exchange on the European market, which will be like fully white but devoted to privacy coins. But this is like super heavy topic, and basically we did pivot during our initial launch, and right now we're doing business transactions where we're trying to process like fiat to crypto. For example, you have a company in Europe who have suppliers like in India, in Russia, in Iran, somewhere else, where the traditional banking system isn't functioning properly. It's like either laggy, or it's very expensive, or it's not like achievable from bureaucracy and administrative point of view. And what we're doing, we're basically accepting fiat money in Europe and transferring them in stable coins anywhere globally. Basically, a person can receive it even on the moon if there is an internet. So there is no limitation and there is no bounding to traditional financial system. This gives us basically an ability to make much cheaper transactions and much faster financial transactions in terms of business. And this is like first stream where we're working. And second one is a relation between Web2 and Web3 businesses, because crypto payments is kind of like future. We have it on some level right now, like in C2C between customers, but in business, it's between businesses, it's almost not existing because legal and compliance perspectives on Europe are not very clear, and companies having friction to processing crypto. So we are functioning as a mediator between companies who are already ready to accept crypto and companies who are not ready to pay in crypto. So we're giving both an ability to receive what they want and pay in what they want.
Okay, so why crypto? When did you decide to start your business? I mean, taking into account the market right now, it doesn't seem like the best time to start a crypto business. What can you tell us about that?
It's not the best time to have an attraction and build an attraction because it's super heavy. It's like bear market, it's crypto winter, it's like almost global recession. So it's the worst time to get traction and build a bunch of clients. But this is the best time to prototype and build itself because market is calm. You don't have so big overheated interest just because it's crypto and everyone is shouting around that. So feedback on your product is basically very like genuine and maybe a bit more negative than it should be. But when you get positive references, even on this bear market, it means something. And we get into this business just because like my previous experience is 8 years in startup building, in venture building, and basically product and service innovations. I was like a professional consultant who then had a job who was in the different positions of like chief marketing officer, chief growth officer, chief product officer. And I was involved a lot like in fintech and last years from 2017 into crypto. And when we were launching like this crypto exchange project, we just suddenly actually had a client who was based in Germany. It was a company, game development company, and they had developers in Russia. So war started, and they had a problem. They can't pay to their developers, even despite the fact that this is normal people, normal job relationships, and there are like struggles. So either this company would lose a project, would lose their clients, or we would be able to help them. And someone from our network just referred, hey, those guys, they can process for you fiat and they can send out crypto. Try to work with them. And this was the first client who just came to us basically by luck, coincidence. And we helped them to process this transaction. And we've understood, okay, this is actually very interesting because there is so many regions where just like, okay, war, Russia, it's like separate topic. But there is also a lot of like regions which are just far away from good banking system, which is based in Europe and West. They all have still like having some limits, but everything which is like overseas and third party countries, they're so far that they're like really not interested to the classical banking and financial systems. And only like few startups are pursuing like those relationships between those countries and trying to improve the quality of financial transactions. And also there are like mastodons, those huge mammoths like PayPal and Payoneer who would like charging crazy fees to process those monies. Still, this transaction that takes like 5-7 days. You need like to bring it to the normal account, etc. And crypto seems to be a perfect solution because you don't need bank. You're not using like Swift, all this IBAN stuff, etc. It's just wallets and second processing in seconds. But it's not allowed. It's forbidden, or it's not like legally accepted widely. And another side, players are afraid about crypto. So how to solve that? And we just understood that future is somewhere like in 3-5 years where those transactions would be absolutely legal, accepted almost everywhere, and would be kind of normal. But so far, there are no players who would try to play a mediator role and try to create this friendship between those regions. And this is what why Archway actually was like spinned off. We just told ourselves, okay, let's try to build this mediator who would use traditional financial system in Europe and on the West, and then try to connect it with blockchain finances, which are pretty fast, accessible, and having almost like no borders.
Yeah, tell me about PayPal and their high fees. I mean, you you are doing a great thing. So
Thank
when
you.
did you exactly start with your business?
First clients was processed in November last year, so 2022. In January, we decided to invest into this project. So
Oh,
we've spent around like 250K on building MVP, finding our markets, who are our potential clients, and many more different stuff. It's important to understand that those kind of business is just if you're doing it in the right way, it's very expensive to get licenses, to get like all this financial infrastructure. Normal bank accounts are not feasible for you, so you need to go like to super high expensive bank accounts, etc., etc. So this business is really like different from building a traditional SaaS, but it is kind of similar to SaaS in our case, and it's also like B2B, just because you have those recurring transactions. What we're trying like to uh, what we're trying to get on board in terms of transactions are those like recurring payments. When marketing agency based in India invoicing regularly to Canada, US, UK, Europe, like 10, 20, 30, 50K monthly, and those money they like go in each month. It's salary. It's what for what people are living, what for they eating, and it's never finishing. So I know that like churn is also like always a topic like for many SaaSes, but in those terms, why I really like this project just because churn is kind of not on the table because organically most of the companies they're growing their revenues, and if they will stay with us, they basically will just consume more transaction volume with us.
yeah, and the first client, that's first paying client in November last year. So how many clients do you have as of today?
As of today, we're still on the low numbers because our strategy right now, like having like where pre like la last 6 months is, I would call us like pre-seed. Right now we're in the seed stage. We're like finishing our next investment round, And this next investment round is exactly about our product market fit. So we're not talking about like hundreds and thousands clients yet, but we have tens of them. And our transaction volume is around like 100K euro monthly. So it's basically like 10, 20 invoices, sometimes from different companies, sometimes from the same companies. And what we're doing like right now, the most is that to process those transitions between like fiat to crypto and having like euro, GBP, USD, it's involving a lot of like administrative work, a lot of jurisdictional and legal work, and a lot of compliance work. So we need to onboard new banks, we need to build up new systems, etc. And this is what is difficult about that product. It's just not about like building functionality that allows you like to transform one number into another number. Basically, to be eligible to do that, you need so big infrastructure around that, so many like rights, approvals, all this kind of stuff. So that's why I would fairly like say that half, almost like 60% of my attention is just like devoted to building this surrounding. And technical team is really capable of doing all in terms of system and IT infrastructure, because this is not the difficult part of about this business.
Yeah, and you said, I mean, you're investing a lot of money. Are you applying for some funds? What are you doing? How is your business getting funded?
Basically, initially behind the initial business, there were like three founders who invested like initial money. I am in the position of co-founder and CEO, and right now we are raising like additional 1 million euro funding, where we're closing part of that, and within the next 3 months, is probably till the next of the year, we will finish our rolling round. And
Okay.
this round would be like spent to achieve product market fit. This is where we will need actually like to go deeper on the market that we choose right now, and to penetrate them in a much more like significant way, and basically understand where it's worth to invest much more in the second round.
Okay, and how big is your team right now? How many people?
We had a small shortage like during the summer, but overall right now I think our team is jumping like from 7 up to 15 people. We're adding, there is a lot of like administrative work on the back end. I mean, we have chief risk officer, chief legal officer, chief financial officer, a lot of this like back office infrastructure plus accounting and back office power. Then we have a stable team in IT and team in marketing, sales, and product is basically like some way exchanged. And also we have additional marketing and lead generation power outsourced. So it's not all people are involved like full time, but I think full time people, it's around like 7, 8 people always from the start.
So, okay, okay, and they are like, I mean, 7 to 8 are working full time developing the product. Are you like um, developing it, changing something, or just like working on it to stay like it is?
In terms of technology and product itself.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, in terms of technology and product itself, basically we have roadmap which we are fulfilling from the March till nowadays, and we exactly know what we need to build, because the system again, like uh, I would be totally honest, it's not like rocket science. It's not like Elon Musk and SpaceX systems. It's real like databases, APIs, and good and friendly user interface. This is what we're building. And as much as we're adding like financial infrastructure capabilities, so new banks, new currencies, we're building in functionalities that is required. So we're doing one financial stream from fiat to crypto. Then we need to do the reverse stream. We need to accept USDT and transfer it like to euro and send it to the correct addresses. And then we have additional currencies, and we are basically doing like those different money flows in the different directions. And all of those directions, those are the functions for the user. So we need to place them correctly so people would engage with that in a different way, and it would also be, oh, it would promise us basically high retention. So for the users who just made one transaction with us, they would understood there is much wider capabilities to what they can do with us, and they will return again and again.
Okay, and I wanted to ask you, since you said you got like your first client by luck, how are you getting clients right now? Since you said that marketing is not, you're not focusing on it right now. It's I mean, bear market and everything. How are you getting your clients? What marketing channels are you using? Are you even in marketing? And is it just like getting clients by word of mouth? What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah. Basically, in January we have started officially. In February, early March, I've started marketing activities, but those were devoted to finding problem solution fit and problem customer fit or solution customer fit. Basically, like future stage is really about like product market fit, and this is was like much smaller scale. My challenge was to identify which markets we want to pursue and which categories of clients we want to pursue. And if you will return like to this initial idea that I was describing, there is like Western banking system and then there is overseas. But what is overseas? It's like four regions. It's Latin America, it's Africa, it's Middle East, it's Asia or South Asia and many Asian countries. So you would find out that there are like more than 40 countries that were to pursue because they like doing export in terms of services, in terms of like goods. And who are those people then? Like it's travel agencies, it's IT freelancers, or it's IT outsourcing group, marketing agencies, whoever it can be. So basically many segments, many countries. And the only way how I was able like to identify where to go is first of all like some macro analysis, but then we just launched a lot of cold outreach. So LinkedIn outreach in B2B and email outreach. So honestly, I was sending like tens of thousands of emails to everything like customized per segment, per persona, per company with basically different like follow-ups and propositions. And we were testing like where we got this fit, where people would click, where people would reply, where people would be interested to speak with us. And basically making those calls, we will try like first to do customer development interviews and also I would call it like just soft sales. We were saying, hey, we can do for you this and this transaction. Right now we don't have MVP, but we can process it for you. Here is a Google form where you can just onboard with us. Like in legal, we'll check all documents in a manual way, and you just need to send money there, and we will send money here. And all of that was done like manually till June. We were basically on the half of the volumes that we have right now. And right now we're doing just direct approach, also like cold sales. So I have one person who is engaging, and we have our list of hypotheses in already like specific countries. It's like four regions that we're pursuing, and we're going deeper right now in each segment, trying to understand how do they live, what challenges do they have, how we can help them, etc. Based on that, we will start to do user acquisition in scalable marketing channels, but it will probably start to be happening in November or December, something like that.
Okay, so that form, Google form, how did that work? I mean, working with crypto people already like really cautious, and how did you manage to get that to work?
Uh, it's about like it's those Google forms are mostly normal like QAC QAB procedures. So tell me your name, here upload your documents, and as we again like licensed on a European level already, so we are not like big in scale of what we have, but in terms of legal, we are very like compliant and very serious because those things are kind of unignorable when you have financial licenses in Europe. So we were building trust in the personal communication, and everyone who was like engaging in those forums, they were not like cold leads from Instagram ads. There were people I was like talking sometimes more times than just once, and I had no problems with that. And right now, basically, like our product is doing all of that itself. There is automatic like identification, verifications. There is like QAB checks and transactions automated. So things like get much better in terms of my efforts, how much I should spend on processing it manually. Product doing a lot of this itself, but first days they were exactly about that, trying to do it manually and basically learn before building that.
Okay, okay. And how do you know like your, I mean, we already talked about the initial idea. How are you sure that your business is going to be a success? I mean, you're doing really well, growing steadily. Are you waiting for the bull market? Are you waiting for things to change, or do you think you're not dependent on those things right now?
We're dependent. Our expectation that it's not a financial advice, that like bull market will be starting like next year, probably late next year. So I have additional 9 months, is most like 3-4 quarters to be calm in terms of like not pursuing aggressive growth, but to build a good product. And bull market will definitely like help us, but I want to achieve my good level of traction on this conservative market. So third, fourth quarter of next year would be very like important for me. And yeah, I think like that. And in terms of marketing, it would be crucial for us within next 2 quarters to build a trust around us. So I hope that I will be able to invest a significant amount of money into like PR, similar interviews, and probably like I want to be posted in Forbes, Financial Times, all this kind of stuff, just to build like trust and to build first sustainable marketing channels in classical user acquisition. So maybe it would be Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, whatever it can be. We should test a lot of them. And yes, this is a way how to grow right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, using Reddit, especially in the crypto community, seems like a way to go. Also, Twitter as well.
It is interesting that we have so many like target groups. There are like classical fiat companies. There are really like crypto people, heavy people, and there are like someone who are like okay with crypto but just want to improve their financial transactions in terms of cost and speed of transactions. So really not into USDT, but they just can say, okay, maybe it's worth to try that.
Yeah, makes sense. And I mean, your business is not that old. I mean, just started last year, but would you change anything if you were to start over again? I mean, it even isn't a year old, but if you were to start over right now, what would you do differently?
I would like, I think that success of any business is always about people who is building that.
Mhm.
And my recent lessons are exactly about that. So it would be definitely about like people I'm hiring. My previous experience was always about like building businesses from 0 to 1. So it means that no idea and build something valuable. And then it was about like when you have business which is growing like from 100 to 1,000, so really like big numbers, to improve some parts of that. Right now, I'm mixing everything, and my stage where I am right now to build like from 1 to 10, and it's about like finding another people who did it more times before and would be able like to repeat this success. So I think it is like crucial for any CEO to find people that are fit into the stage. If you need to get from 0 to 1, find the one who did it like multiply times. If you're growing from 1 to 10, find the ones who did it multiply times. I did a mistake that on early stage, I've heard people who helped me to bring it like from 0 to 1, but they might choose to be after 100 and later
Yeah.
stages. So this is at this early stage is really like requiring different mindset. Yeah.
Okay. And since you have that much experience in business and in the SaaS industry, um, are there any advice that you would like to give to aspiring SaaS founders that are just starting on their journey?
Yes, definitely. I was recently talking like I'm really enjoying like where AI goes and how many services can be built on the publicly available services like ChatGPT and all other providers. And I have my friend, and he's like super heavy IT person, like really good in tech. And we were like brainstorming with him about like what kind of business he can build. And I was telling to him, hey, like if you will try to build something like related with AI to IT guys, you would always sell something that they really understand and they will know how much it should be priced. If you will go to the lawyers, which have no idea almost what is AI, how to approach that, because like lawyers in general, like not heavy savvy category like of professionals, and they would be really, I don't want to tell that outdated, but they will alternatively will see AI as a super high value for them.
Mhm.
So, and I was, and while this discussion was happening, he was, okay, I need to budget how much it would cost. Okay, I need to build a roadmap, how I would like to build it. And I was like, forget about that. Just go on LinkedIn and write like to 50 lawyer company owners and ask them, or make them a proposal that you would be able to build this system, or pretend that you already have it. So try to sell it even before you have it. Try to sell it even before you fundraise for that. Try to sell it even before you came with an idea how it's going to look like.
Yeah.
Just see, just try to inject like the main idea and proposition, what you're going to give for the person, and try to sell it. Because if there is a value, you don't need designs. If there is a value, you don't need presentation. If there is a value, you don't need pricing. They don't need to click on that. In B2B especially, you just need to come and speak with person honestly. Hey, do you have this problem? Hey, would this help to you? Hey, would you eager to pay so much money for that if I will deliver it to you like in 3 months? If you're like not okay to pretend, you can always say, okay, I will return with a proposal to you. And then you can tell, sorry, we have so big queue on my product. And if they would be interested, they will wait for 3 months. So it's never a problem. And basically, it's much better if you will come and even give these people a lesson that there is something in the world that can exist and help them use it, because you're not lying at the end. It's just like you're informing, you're like testing, and there is so much value. Instead of thinking how to build that, who will build it instead of you, and then get to the point in half a year that nobody needs that. This is main advice probably.
Yeah, and did you incorporate that in your strategy as well?
Basically, we get this early traction, and then we get this testing going around, writing to different people, really like properly investigating into that. We did it actually. You was asking me in the previous question how we can be sure about like future success and how like bear
Yeah.
market influence in that. So this is like second part of the answer. Huge research, huge strategic understanding where like things are going. And again, our product is not so much about like product itself. It's a lot about understanding like compliance, where the whole regulation globally going with crypto, where this like global segment of traditional banks stacked, why it's stacked, why so many like Web3 financial projects are hated, why they can't be like accepted and used in the current market, etc. So all those dots, they should be like connected. And when we have connected those dots in terms of like, it's not like legal market, it's like really financial business transaction. It's like it's trillions, and it's like hundreds of trillions of dollars globally running like each day or each year on the regular basis. So like this is kind of inevitable. And we also know in our case that we need to invest money and potentially lose it, but to understand where our niche. So it's about like exploring and experimenting. And this is really like inevitable. We really spend this initial amount of money to learn where not to go. And this is also not to okay. This is also okay for startups. For some startups, they need to understand that and they need to accept. And there's only few who are just like hitting the point and say, okay, yes, this is really what we need to build. We have a waiting list, and they're going the right way. But it's also happening, like example from Postbox, from Dropbox. They've built in a mail, and on the waiting list, they have collected like 3 or 5 million people who are waiting for their product, and then they close it. So even this success on the like pre-launch phase doesn't mean success in the end.
Yeah.
So life of startups is very different. There is no like one way how to succeed. There is just many ways that you need to consider and try to find like your own way on that. Yes.
Okay. Okay, Anton. I think that would be it. Thank you once again for taking a part in our interview series and for sharing your experience and knowledge with me and with the rest of the community as well.
Yeah, thank you too. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure as well.